Have you ever heard of a ghost that isn't a ghost? A presence felt so strongly, yet a person who simply vanished? Today we're talking about a story that has haunted a small Irish town for nearly 3 decades. This is the story of the disappearance of Fiona Pender. Picture this. It's August 1996 in Tullamore, County Offaly, Ireland. The town is buzzing with the energy of the famous Tullamore show. For 25-year-old Fiona Pender, it's a time of immense excitement and anticipation. She's a vibrant, beautiful young woman, a part-time model and hairdresser, known for her warm smile. But her biggest joy? She's 7 months pregnant, eagerly awaiting the arrival of her first child. She'd already picked out a name, Bira if it was a girl. On the morning of Friday, August 23, 1996, Fiona was last seen at her small one-bedroom flat on Church Street. Her boyfriend, John Thompson, told police he left her there that morning to go work on his family farm. Fiona was feeling a bit tired, a bit down, which wasn't unusual for a woman in her 3rd trimester. She was supposed to meet her mother, Mary, and her brother, Mark, later that day to go shopping for baby clothes. But Fiona never showed up. When her mother couldn't reach her, a knot of worry began to form. They went to her flat. Inside, everything seemed normal. Her purse was there, her keys, her money, her passport. The clothes she had worn the day before were on the floor. Nothing was out of place. It was as if she had just stepped out for a moment and never came back. A massive search operation was launched. The entire community of Tullamore rallied, scouring fields, canals, and woodlands. Her face was on posters everywhere. The question on everyone's lips was the same: where is Fiona? The investigation quickly zeroed in on her boyfriend, John Thompson, the last person to see her alive. He had a history of violence towards Fiona, something her family and friends were tragically aware of. In fact, just a year before she vanished, he had been convicted of assaulting her. Despite this, he was the father of her unborn child, and she had decided to give him another chance. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Thompson maintained his innocence, claiming he had no idea what happened to Fiona. The police questioned him extensively, but without a body, without a crime scene, without any physical evidence linking him to her disappearance, their hands were tied. There wasn't enough to charge him. The case officially was a missing persons investigation. Years turned into a decade. Fiona's mother, Mary, became a tireless advocate, a hauntingly familiar face in Irish media, begging for any information, any clue that could lead her to her daughter and grandchild. The pain in her eyes was a constant, heartbreaking reminder of this unsolved mystery. Then a chilling, almost unbelievable twist. In 2008, 12 years after Fiona vanished, John Thompson was arrested again. But this time it was for the murder of another woman. He had killed his 22-year-old girlfriend, Deirdre Jacobs' cousin, Siobhan. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. While in custody, he reportedly bragged to fellow inmates about killing Fiona, even sketching a map of where he claimed to have buried her. Police excavated the site, a place known as the Foxy Phelan Folly, in the Slieve Bloom Mountains. Hopes were high, but after a painstaking search, they found nothing. Was it a cruel game? A lie from a convicted killer? Or was he just off on the location? We may never know. John Thompson died by suicide in his prison cell in 2018, taking any secrets he had about Fiona Pender's fate to his grave. Today, nearly 30 years later, Fiona Pender and her unborn baby are still missing. They have never been found. Her mother, Mary, sadly passed away in 2017 without ever knowing what happened to her daughter. The official police file remains open. Fiona isn't a ghost in the traditional sense, but her story haunts the very soul of Ireland. A story of a vibrant life and a new life, both extinguished, a family left in perpetual limbo, and a killer who took the truth with him. She vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a question that may never be answered. Where is Fiona? Music swells slightly and then fades to silence.